Good afternoon, good evening. Each year, the Ohio High School Athletic Association requires each school to hold athletic eligibility meetings due to the COVID-19 and the limit to the number of people that we can bring together, the mass gatherings. We will do the eligibility meeting via a link that I will provide for you, so you don't have to come to school this evening and be a part of an eligibility meeting. After this, we'll talk about a couple other things in regards to what the season could possibly look like, where we're going in this direction, what we're doing here in the school district to help safeguard and try to do our best as possible to limit the spread of any type of viruses and illnesses. So welcome to the OHSAA eligibility meeting. Why athletics? Why do we do athletics? As a complement to junior high and high school educational experience. It fosters a sense of community and teaches lifelong lessons in teamwork and work ethic. It promotes appreciation for sports and also a healthy lifestyle. At high school, where some athletes advance and play sports and have opportunities for financial assistance for college, it is not the main purpose of high school sports. Athletics help prepare young men and women for their next level of life as a responsible adult and also productive citizen. High school athletics promotes educational component into the athletic programs. It's not like AAU basketball, JO volleyball, travel baseball, softball. We do not have free movement of players from year to year. The kids that are here are eligible to participate here. As your child is a part of Dalton High School, athletics are just one option for your child to be involved in a multitude of extracurricular activities, which we encourage them all to be involved, whether it's sports, band, drama. We encourage all of our athletes to be involved in as many things as possible. The success of an athletic teams your child are a part of at Dalton High School is more important than the individual awards that they may accomplish or achieve. And once again, participation in interscholastic athletic programs is just a privilege. It's not a right. The rules and regulations for the Ohio High School Athletic Association. Each year, the Dalton Board of Education elects to be part of the Ohio High School Athletic Association. So what we must do is we must abide by the rules and regulations set forth by the association. These rules promote the purpose of educational-based athletics. It is a student athlete's responsibility to be in compliance. On final forms, you have to go through all of these eligibility checklists. It's the first sheet it's the first sheet that and the eligible or the final forms. Please make sure we complete and sign off on that. We have a minimum GPA at Dalton of a 1.0. To be eligible, each athlete must be officially enrolled in Dalton local school district and must have a biological or adoptive parent who live in Ohio. You cannot be competing under a false name and have provided to the school must have provided to the school a correct address, a home address, and athletes cannot be recruited to be at Dalton High School. Continuing on, all ninth graders must have received passing grades in a minimum of 5 subjects their 4th 9 weeks in their 8th grade year to maintain eligibility. From that point, you must have received passing grades in a minimum of 5 1-credit courses or equivalent for the high school kids. You must have received passing grades in a minimum of 5 1-credit courses or the equivalent in the immediately preceding grading year. For example, I checked the 4th 9 weeks. When I check the 4th 9 weeks, I check for grades for the first 9 weeks of this year to make sure they're eligible. from last year. I will also then check the first 9 weeks for second 9-week eligibility. All incoming 7th graders are eligible their first 9 weeks, but must maintain passing grades in 5 classes therefore. So all 7th graders coming in will be eligible immediately. If your child is a part of the College Credit Plus or taking classes at Wayne College or at Stark State, these classes are weighed differently and they are factored in. When we check eligibility, Mr. Graw does an outstanding job in assisting the student athletes. If you or your child has any questions, please ask. Semester and yearly grades, once again, have no effect on the OHSAA eligibility. To attempt to regain OHSAA academic eligibility, summer school grades shall not be used or to replace failing grades or lack of enough credits. If a course is dropped, you are an athlete, you should always ask to make sure that you can maintain your athletic eligibility. Once again, please ask Mr. Graw, Mr. Black, or myself. No high school student will be eligible for more than 8 semesters, and no 7th grade and 8th grade students will be eligible for more than 4 semesters. High school students will become ineligible whenever they turn 20 years old, and 7th and 8th graders who turn 15 before August 1st will be ineligible for middle school sports, but could be eligible for high school sports. Athletes are ineligible if they participate in a non-school team during the team season. Golfers cannot play in the Ryson League right now once they get a part of the season. They can't do scrambles. Volleyball players cannot do any types of tryouts for JO volleyball, play in any rec leagues at a YMCA while their season is going on. Basketball players, same for AAU basketball, cannot play AAU basketball or try out for AAU basketball teams while your season is still going on. Baseball and softball players cannot try out or practice with youth teams, travel ball teams while their season is ongoing. So in March, you try out for a baseball or softball team and your season is going on with baseball and softball, you'll be ruled ineligible. Coaches and schools cannot require participation in off-season programs though. There are once again certain restrictions for activities and non-school teams during and after the season. For example, number of players on a team. There are also coaching restrictions for instruction players can receive during the off season for the sports we offer, except for golf and swimming. Athletes could lose amateur status and forfeit eligibility if they compete for money, capital on athletic fame, or capitalize on athletic fame by receiving money or merchandise, or enter into an agreement with a professional team or agent. This is the LeBron James rule. 9th graders walking into Dalton and participating on a team establish their athletic eligibility at Dalton. A transfer to another school after the start of the 9th grade year without moving into the school district could possibly result in the loss of athletic eligibility for portions of the season. If you have a child that is transferring to Dalton, you must ask questions to make sure you're of athletic eligibility. This regulation has many exceptions, so if you're in that situation where you're transferring into the school district, please ask questions, email me, and I'll try to assist you as best as possible. Once again, we want to make sure that we maintain the eligibility and also follow the rules that we have. We don't want to have to forfeit any games by playing an ineligible athlete. If you're a transfer, if you're a transfer student, we may have to submit paperwork, and OHSAA office will have to approve the transfer if you're an athlete. Once again, please ask questions. Mr. Black and myself must submit the paperwork. Parents and guardians are not to contact the OHSAA office. You can view the exceptions on www.ohsaa.org. Please, once again, consult with anybody if you have questions about any of the exceptions, or you can go on the website and you check the OHSAA website and see if you fall into one of the exceptions, and then you can get a hold of us. We want to ensure this child's safety and health as best as possible. That is our goal, is to make sure our kids stay safe. Your health is a very important aspect of what we have to work with here. Before an athlete starts practice, they must have an updated physical on file. Both parents and athletes must sign on the physical, and all the paperwork. Physicals are valid for 13 months. Once again, you should be able to go to final forms and make sure that you sign all the paperwork. The OHSAA eligibility thing is also there. This presentation is also there for you to view the slideshow. So please make sure that you check and sign on all the eligibility. Make sure everything is up to date on final forms. It's very important because our coaches rely on final forms to make sure all the paperwork is submitted, but also if your child gets injured, we have all the emergency medical information there that we could transfer to, or call you up and maybe transfer to an ambulance if an ambulance is required. All these forms, once again, must be taken care of on final forms. And once again, physicals are good for 13 months. Physicals, once again, you can find a doctor, DL, you can have a nurse practitioner, physician's assistants. So make sure that you take care of all the forms. It would just say eligibility forms on final forms. Concussions. When dealing with concussions, concussions can happen in all sports. We do not impact. We do all this impact. We do impact testing. Leah Ninchwander, our trainer, does a lot of impact testing. So we have a baseline in regards to your child. An athlete who has their bell rung could have a concussion. Make sure, if you're watching your child play volleyball, play golf, play basketball, we even had a concussion in cross country. Basketball, just make sure that you're watching your child. If your child exhibits some, if they have had a hard jolt and they're starting to experience certain things, make sure that you contact Aaliyah, myself, your coach, to make sure that the concussion, if there's a possible concussion, we take care of that. And once again, it's just not an issue in football. Concussions that can happen in any sport. Bell dingers, if you just ring, your bell is rung, and that's what used to be said years and years ago. Oh, they just got their bell rung. They're going to be okay. No, that is a sign of they may have a concussion. So at that point, we will remove them from the game or whatever they are playing at that point. We will remove them and make sure that they're evaluated correctly. Any athlete that exhibits signs, symptoms, and behavior consistent with a concussion will be removed from the contest or practice and shall not return the same day, and will not return to practice or competition until written authorization from a physician or healthcare provider is approved, and that's approved by the Dalton Board of Education. This is in accordance to state law. Parents, even a doctor, cannot come down out of a stands and say, oh, they're okay, I can clear them, they'll be okay, go ahead and let them play. If they've been pulled to the game with concussion-like symptoms, they are done, okay? It doesn't matter if parents come down and say they'll be okay, go ahead and let them play. They have to be cleared by a doctor after 24 hours. Written authorization, it must be a written authorization at that point. And once again, there's a concussion protocol that we go through, and we take them step by step in regards to getting back to first the academic aspect, what they have in school, and then the athletic aspect. So there is protocol that we will have in the Ohio Department of Health concussion information sheet. You can look at all types of information that the Department of Health will come out with. While return to play policies are very important, parents must also work with the school administrators and teachers to develop concussion management guidelines for student athletes. Once again, if you have been concussed, we have to make sure we take precautions in regards to getting that your son or daughter back into, first off, the academic aspect, and then also the athletic aspect at that point. Sudden cardiac arrest, Lindsay's Law. Please view the Lindsay's Law and sign the papers that you have viewed them. It's very important to sudden cardiac arrest as most common cause of death among student athletes. If you have any thoughts or possibility of issues for your child, please consult a cardiologist. Just make sure that you check with the cardiologist. If you feel you have some history in your family that may cause some problems, consult a cardiologist for your child. OHSAA does not permit the use of alcohol, tobacco, including e-cigarettes, or illegal drugs, and will result in disqualification from any event, and you'll also face some school penalties also. Performance enhancing drugs are easily accessible by school age students. You can go down to GNC, pick up all of the protein and all those muscle builders. Please make sure that you assist your child if they're using some of those things, to make sure that they do it correctly and properly. Use of performance enhancing drugs, steroids, and some prescription drugs will result in disqualification of interscholastic athletics. More information is provided on the OHSAA website. The PEDs, the performance enhancing drugs, those are illegal. When you participate in an athletic event, please come and enjoy your son or daughter being a part of the athletic team. Just come and enjoy. Sporting behavior. Try not to get too anxious when the game is going on. When a bad call occurs or a mistake happens, get your out of the way, and then go back and support the team at that point. It's not worth the blood pressure increase. It's not worth a heart rate increase. Just try to enjoy your child going out there and participate. It goes by very, very quickly. 4 years of high school goes by, as senior parents can sit there and relate to. It goes by very quickly. And it's amazing there are seniors already. But just try to enjoy your child out there participating. OHSAA and Dalton's vision for positive sporting behaviors built on expectations. It calls on the school community, that is administrator, contest officials, schools, students, parents, and fans, to strive for positive sporting behavior in everything they do by teaching the values and ethics of ethics, integrity, equity, fairness, and respect. Officials will make calls during the game. Some will be for your team, some will be against your team. If you do not agree, get your gasp out and then go back and just enjoy the game again. One call is never the difference in the game. Most of the time, the calls all even out. If one call should not make a difference, because officials are human also. They'll make mistakes as they go through the games. Okay, one call should not determine the outcome of the game. Please do not stand up and berate. It's not a good look it's not a good look, and the fans around you usually do not want to hear it. Okay, so don't stand up and start yelling and screaming and berating. People want to sit there and try to enjoy the game. As a student athlete, you must always remember to respect the game. It's a privilege to represent your school, community, and participate, so please treat opponents, coaches, and officials with respect. More on OHSAA. There's 816 public schools and non-public schools, 760 7th and 8th grade schools. Your school has volunteered once again to be a part of the OHSAA, so we must abide by the rules. There's 350,000 high school students competing in 26 sanctioned sports. That's a lot. For many, this is the last time participating in competitive athletics. It's the last time for high school students. Seniors, this is maybe your last time competing in organized sports. Yes, you may go to college, participate in athletics in college, or participate in intramurals. But this is the last chance to be with your friends, the community, the kids that you've grown up with throughout. So just enjoy your high school experience. Enjoy it. OHSAA established rules and regulations, organized postseason tournaments. OHSAA provides opportunities for academic and college scholarship, and ensures coaches are certified through an ongoing coaching education program. You have also 15,000 officials, so if you're looking to help out, they're always looking for officials. Okay, maybe your sons or daughters are starting to leave the high school experience, and maybe you want to become an official. Okay, they're always looking for officials out there. OHSAA has a tradition of excellence over 100 years, with the ultimate purpose to promote lifetime values, good citizenship, academic success, ethics, and fair play, and safe and sporting environments. Once again, if you have any issues or if you have any questions, go to ohsaa.org. They will provide a lot of information. As we continue to go through what we're going through right now with COVID-19, this will be a challenge for us. Okay, we are trying very hard to make sure our environment here at Dalton Local Schools is safe for our kids to come and participate and also be in the classroom. The main thing is for them to be able to get back here into school. But with respect to athletics, we're trying very hard to put some safeguards in there. If something does occur, we are not spreading the COVID-19. We encourage athletes. We're asking all athletes when they come into the school for practice, you need to be wearing a mask. When you go in the locker room, you need to be wearing a mask. As they come into the school right now, they need to be masked. You need to try to social distance as best as possible. Okay, we want to have a season. Okay, we want to have fall sports. Okay, so it's important that we try to do what we can do right now to be able to make this occur in some sort of semblance. Anything that we do right now, anything that is said right now, there is possibilities of it changing within the day, within the week, within 2 weeks. We don't know. Anything that we do in regards to trying to speculate what's going to happen is just pure speculation. Okay, we are not guaranteed anything here within the day, within the week, within the 2 weeks, once we hit September. Okay, so anything that we do right now is just purely speculation. So at that point, I look at it as, you know what, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to worry about what's occurring right now, and we're going to try to do the best we can with what we have right now. And if rules change or if things change a little bit, so be it. They change, we will adapt, and we will change with that. Okay, our goal is once again to have a season. OHSAA has tried to push forward that we're gonna try to have some sort of semblance of a season, okay? So that's what we are trying to do. But we're once again trying to make safeguards here in regards to trying to get or be safe with your sons and your daughters as they're a part of the athletics. Please do encourage them to wear their masks when they're leaving their cars, when they're walking into the schools, when they're going back to the cars, when they're waiting for practice. Don't stand around and just sit there and chit chat with people with no mask on at a close proximity. Okay, so please do encourage that as much as possible. Okay, have Purell with them, or have some hand sanitizers they can always sanitize their hands with. So these are all little things that we can do to be able to assist and help out as best as possible. Okay, all plans are not perfect, and I understand that. We will run into issues at times that we will have to deal with, and we will deal with them. But what we can try to do as best as possible is make sure that we probably don't have those issues, or we try not to have those issues. Okay, so please encourage your child to make sure that they wear their mask. Encourage them to keep their immune system up. Drink plenty of fluids. Get a good night's sleep. Get good meals into them. Those are all positive things where if we can continue to keep their immune systems high, that's going to be positive for them also. So those are all things that we are trying to do to try to help out. But also parents, please help us too. Encourage your kid to, your son or your daughter, to wear the mask as much as possible. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to contact me with an email, jgregory@daltonlocal.org, or Mr. Black. We will try to assist you as best as possible. But the most important thing is to be able to get the kids back into an academic environment first, and then to the athletic environment. Those are important because I think it's an important part of that high school experience. Once again, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. I will help you. I will at least guide you in a direction that will assist you as best as possible. We will try our hardest to make fall sports work. Okay? We are trying our hardest. But once again, we need to be able to have, help from everywhere in regards to trying to make sure that our kids stay safe. Okay? So it's very, very important. So if you have questions, feel free to ask. Other than that, I have nothing else for us at this time. So please, once again, if you have questions, please ask. Other than that, adios. We'll see you.